Hi, this is Katie Ann, and in today's ADP training session, I'm going to walk you through how to edit an individual team member's time card and approve and sign off for payroll processing. So to get started, I'm going to navigate to My Team, Time and Attendance, Time Card Approval. When my time card approval screen loads, I will see my team roster down below. And this is the total hours and earnings for this period. So it's important to note that we're processing payroll, we do so for a previous pay period. So when I come back to approve and sign off, I will show you that. But when I'm making edits, I'm typically doing so in the current pay period, the period that we're working today. I want to make sure that I stay on top of this team member's time card at least every other day or once a week. I don't want to have to wait until payroll processing day to make edits and entries for 2 weeks worth. So when I want to edit a time card, I want to select all rows and use my go-to navigator and go to time cards. So you see I have all of my team members listed here. So I'm just going to scroll to my last team member. I have a schedule that is pre-populated in this time card. So if my team member does not work these scheduled hours, their schedule hasn't really changed, just those daily times that they've worked have changed. So I want to make sure that I update this time card accordingly because I don't want to overpay or underpay this team member. So let's say on Tuesday, this team member did not come in at 5:30 in the morning, but they came in at 6:15. So when I click into this cell, I will just type 6:15. And let's say on Wednesday, this team member did not leave at 1 o'clock, but they stayed a little later and they worked until 2:30. Again, I'm going to click in the cell, type in that punch. It's important to note when I am working or putting in an afternoon or evening hours, I insert a P behind it. Otherwise, the system will default to AM and we will overstate those hours and earnings for the team member. So make sure that for any afternoon or evening hours that you insert a P behind the time. And if you know military time, you most certainly can enter that as well. Anytime I make a change, I want to make sure that I save the time card so it updates accordingly. So now you see that things are highlighted a little differently. So what this is showing is they are late compared to their scheduled time, or they were late out compared to their scheduled time. So it's just a visual for you to see what's going on in your team member's time card. Now let's say this team member didn't work on Thursday. I'm going to come right to this X and delete the row completely. So that way I take that time out of the time card. And you see that it has been done on Monday as well. So again, let's save that change. Now let's say this team member has a sick day that they want to use. So I would want to pay that out accordingly. So on Monday, I would select this pay code and scroll to sick where I can search. I'm just going to scroll. And I would type in those number of hours that they have available. So let's go ahead and put 7. And then let's say on Thursday, this was still a sick day, but they don't have any more time accumulated. I still want to record that in the time card. So I would select the pay code sick and enter 0 hours. That way it's recorded and I know what this is for. I'm also able to add comments to any of these cells. So what I can do is right click on this 0. I get a pay code actions window. So I can come to this comment section and there's a few different options. I'm just going to select general and I can type a note here that this is unpaid sick. And when I add this, it's going to put a little chat bubble within that cell. And again, I can do this for any cell, any time, any punch. So let's say on Tuesday for this late time in, I can right click that and also add a comment here. Let's say they had a doctor's appointment or an emergency, flat tire, whatever it may be. You can type those comments in here. These comments are reportable, so it just kind of gives you a little information as to what was going on that day. So I'm just going to type that this was for childcare. And again, any changes I made, I want to make sure that I save the time card. So after I've made all of my edits to my time cards and I've looked at all the information and validated it, and it's a payroll processing day, I come back to my time card approval. Make sure you refresh it so these changes are picked up. Now again, on a payroll processing day, we're doing so for a previous pay period. So I want to make sure that I'm looking at that time frame. When I'm processing payroll, I need to make sure that I do it for every team member. So when I am approving and signing off, I want to make sure I select all rows. Approval lets the payroll department know that you have validated and made all of the edits in these individual time cards, that the information is accurate. If a team member has no hours worked in the time card, it's still important that you approve and sign off, because you're the one that knows that 0 hours are incorrect. And that lets the payroll department know that, okay, this is correct. This team member is not being paid on this payroll. To select all rows, come to the approval check mark and approve time cards. It's going to ask you if you would like to approve. Yes, I would. So when I refresh, I'll start to see ones in this manager approval column. So again, that lets the payroll department know you have verified, validated, and made your entries for all of these time cards. So then my next step is to select all rows and sign off. Come back to your approval check mark and sign off. Yes, I would like to sign off. When I refresh, I'll start to see check marks in the sign off column. Again, that is what's going to transmit this time card to the payroll engine to be processed and paid. And that concludes today's training video. Thank you for watching.